Welcome, everybody, to the SnapRefund Podcast. My name is Anis Taylor.
I'm Cody and Anis.
And we are here with another episode of the SnapRefund Podcast, all the way from beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Ooh, we got a good one today.
Yes, sir. So, look, we just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to pass it over to my co-founder, Cody, and I'm going to let you tell the people at home, why are we here in Milwaukee?
So, SnapRefund got a $100,000 investment from Northwestern Mutual for our fintech company. We're in the Northwestern Mutual Black Founders Accelerator, and we are so excited to start work. We're here for the kickoff, and it's been a great week.
Absolutely, it has been. And so really just the level set on everything, Generator is the name of the accelerator that we're a part of. So first, before we even start, we want to give a special shout out to the program director, Precious Drew, the program manager, Destiny Muhammad, as well as Darius Smith, as well as the co-founder, Troy, for Generator and bringing SnapRefund all the way out from Philadelphia to Milwaukee to believe in our business and what we're doing with our startup and actually invest. They're putting their money where their mouth is to see a company like SnapRefund make it all the way to the top. Not only are we here through Generator, but we're also here because of a special partner that we're getting ready to lock in with, and that is Northwestern Mutual.
Absolutely.
So let's just jump right into it, right? Being a black startup, being a fintech startup all the way from Philadelphia. Cody, talk to me about what do you feel about having to come all the way out to Milwaukee to get our first investment from a company in Milwaukee that's not from our city?
Great question. Let me just start by saying, man, that breeze off Lake Michigan is cold. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis. You might know this about me, but this wind up here is no joke. So I'm going to try to keep it together. I might need to top off my buttons because I'm getting chills.
Well, I just think that's the man upstairs just trying to cool you down because you're so hot right now. You on fire, bruh.
Nah, you give me too much credit. Look, it's a team effort. So look, right now, I forgot your question, actually. I'm so turnt right now, Anis. What was the question?
All right, no problem. So how do you feel, right, building a startup, being a black founder, right, working so hard in the city of Philadelphia just to see and gain some validation, gain some recognition, possibly an investment, doing everything we can for the city of Philadelphia, acting locally but thinking nationally as well as globally, and have to come all the way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to get our first investment? How does that make you feel as a CEO and as a co-founder for this company?
Yeah, I don't feel at all like that's a problem because the nature of work is remote. We know what it is. And look, I'm from St. Louis. So for me to even meet you and then make SnapRefund, I had to leave home to begin with. And that's a very common thing. I mean, that speaks to larger socioeconomic trends where people in the middle of this country tend to move to the coasts because that's where a lot of the economy is, right? That's no surprise. It's nothing new. In our case, right, we've obviously shopped SnapRefund around plenty. It's been a journey interviewing people from Cali, New York, Pennsylvania, right? I mean, damn near all 50 states at this point. I think we've talked to someone there, whether they're a VC, a prospect. That's how it goes. So I feel great knowing that someone at all could recognize the work that we put in and see the value in that enough to actually put their money where their mouth is. And, you know, we've had grants, we've had various help along the way, not to sleep on that, but this is by far the biggest win we've had to date. $100K from Northwestern Mutual. Are you kidding me? And Generator, not to be slept on. Such an amazing accelerator, facilitator. They're so good at what they do. Major shout out to Troy, Precious, Drew, and Darius. Man, they showed love. So I feel fine. I don't at all mind coming to Milwaukee, Alaska, Texas. Where it's at, wherever it is, we're gonna go there for it. So I'm cool with that. How do you feel, man?
I like to say we're gonna be where the Bucks is at, right? And right behind us, as you can see, is actually where the Milwaukee Bucks play, and it couldn't be more fitting to come out here, have this podcast in Milwaukee as we get $100,000. So to me, it's exciting. But I think what's more important than that, it's really about the motivation that I feel right now. I'm so inspired. I want to work harder because I feel that if we could do what we just did, build something from the ground up, have the recognition, have the validation from a beautiful and powerful company like Northwestern Mutual, who actually sees extreme value in us to be able to solve some pain points that as a company they're possibly going through. That to me means a lot. I'm inspired. That's really, I know I've always said that, but I think it's important for you co-founders out there, as you're going on in your journey, is every day you have to feel some form of inspiration. Every day you have to be inspired. Every day you have to be hungry, because you just never know where that win is going to come from. Sometimes you think it's going to come from home, and it doesn't. So you never know who's looking at you. You never know who's watching you. That's been the biggest lesson that I've learned. So for me, I'm really inspired by that.
Man, that's amazing. So let me cut in there. What I want to ask you, because you got some years on me, not too many, but you definitely have experience from being an entrepreneur for so long. I want to know from you, how does it feel having arguably the biggest win of your career, knowing how long you've been trying to make it happen with various companies, startups, etc.? What's that like for you?
I'll tell you a story, man. I've been doing this for so long. I've built in tech products, startups for almost 20 years now, and always tried to be at the cutting edge of what was getting ready to happen. So it's no coincidence that we're in this fintech space, because of the value and the opportunities that I see in financial technology, as well as positioning ourselves to get ready for digital currencies as they come out. I met with a VC a long time ago, and he's a wonderful person, wonderful person. But in Philadelphia, he just kept it real with me. He said, Anis, look, you could do all these amazing things and think that you're actually doing something, but the truth of the matter is, you'll only be lucky if somebody gives you $100,000 just because they like you. He didn't even look at me as a human being. He didn't even look at the product. He didn't even look at the work that I did and just the mountains that I had to climb for that. And that was almost 5 years ago. So for me to actually have this opportunity, being a founder, being a serial entrepreneur, and to partner with a company like Northwestern Mutual, as well as be accepted into an accelerator like Generator, who, by the way, I'm going on record right now, they will be the biggest accelerator in the world. They will overtake Y Combinator. There's no doubt about it, because of the authenticity that they show when they're working with startup founders. Everybody in the cohort feels it. So for me, this is really a monumental moment. But it doesn't stop here, right? It's like, okay, we got 100K. But imagine if we keep going harder. We have the support of a wonderful organization like Northwestern Mutual. We have teammates like Generator that's really going to make sure that we build our business to where it needs to be, and we're consistently growing. Sky is really the limits, because I've always known that I have the ability to build a wonderful product from the ground up, because I've been doing it for so long for myself and for others. But now this moment right here, it just takes me to a whole nother level that I'm like, there really is nothing that we can do, because it's not about the money. It's just really about the validation to say, look, man, you're not crazy. What you're doing can really be useful. And so I'm motivated from that. So it really excites me. You're young, but you're also been in the game for a while. You've started a few startups yourself. You've been in corporate America as well. How do you feel about this opportunity and this being the biggest one of your career? How does that make you feel today?
It makes me feel so good, because obviously whenever you work on something with all your heart and soul, you believe it, and you at some point think that someone else will believe it, and that's why you keep going, because you know that the value that you see in it is a value that will materialize one day and that people will be able to latch onto. And I mean, at the start of this, look, our mission is to give you greater control over your money. When you have an insurance claim coming your way and you don't want to wait for that check and you need that money, you're underbanked and someone owes you for a job you did and you don't have a bank account to cash it, and you got to go to a check cashing place and pay a crazy fee. That's why we did this. It's for you. So it makes me feel amazing to know that now what we're trying to do for you is that much better, that much more strongly positioned. Look, we got it out the mud for real. We grinded for years to build this platform. We could have stopped so many times. The fact that we didn't, and the fact that we're here now, is a testament to that, because it doesn't happen unless you think what you're doing actually does what you think it can do. And when you see someone like Northwestern Mutual or Generator give you that bit of confidence, it lets you know that I'm not crazy.
No, not at all. Not at all. So let's talk business now, right? Let's talk about the company. Let's talk about growth. As a CEO, 5 episodes, 5 months we've been doing this podcast. We've been walking startups through this journey with us. as a CEO, now that we have this opportunity to be a part of Generator, to work with a wonderful company like Northwestern Mutual, where do you see the direction of SnapRefund going today and into the future?
First things first, look, Northwestern Mutual writes billions, those are the B, billions in premiums and policy. We have the ability now to have firsthand user feedback, thought leadership from the true preeminent leaders in the insurance space. That is huge. On our team is Northwestern Mutual. We're teammates. It's us in the same corner now. So look, we've been saying it. Y'all thought we were crazy. Maybe you supported. We've been saying it for years now that claim payments can be innovated. It can be done better. Small to medium-sized business payments can be innovated. It can be done better. Now we have all those industry insights that people would pay innumerable sums to get. And we get that for free because they see the value, and not only what we're doing, but I want to be clear, it's because they see the value in us.
Yeah.
And they know that you and I, as entrepreneurs, are here for a reason, and we're the right people to keep doing this. And that feels so amazing. So look, on a business tip, where we're going from here, number one, sales about to explode. We're going to double down on our efforts and get more clients. We have 5 clients today. By the end of the summer, let's see where it goes. I won't put a number out there because I don't even want to set a limit in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as big and as many as possible because our tech is ready. We're live. So another fun fact, actually, Anis and I were going through some analytics on the dashboard today. We've officially transacted over $11,000 on our platform since launching on March 25th. We're going to make a handshake. We've been talking about it. So we just dabbed it for now. But next episode, I'm going to tell myself we got to have a custom handshake. It has to get to that level, man, because I'm excited. Everything is building more and more, and that's because we've strategically walked through this process to make sure that we're partnering with the right clients and the right accelerators, the right partners at the right time. And Northwestern felt the same. Generator felt the same. So now it's time to pop the lid off the sales. Go ahead and get it there. Number 2, engineering. Now we have the ability to integrate into custom claims management systems, whether they're proprietary, legacy, industry standard, and we have insight like never before into one of the biggest claims departments in the world. In the world. No question. They're writing billions in claim payments a year. So the amount of insights we'll get from not only what it's like to operate an internal department at that point, but doing it at scale, at that scale. Look, there's not that many companies in the world at this level that we could ask these questions to and get feedback of how we can make what we're doing work, not just for them, but for everyone. Because look, if it works for Northwestern, you best believe it's going to work for whatever agencies out there in your city. So that's 2 things that I have in my mind for sure. You don't know what you don't know, so I'm sure there's going to be even more we learn about. But look, the capital is going to accelerate our growth on marketing, engineering, and even beyond that, the doors that are going to open that I foresee opening from the strength of the social proofing, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. So let me turn it back to you, right? So it's funny. We go through questions ahead of time to say, like, what do you want to talk about? And then we just start talking, and then you get so excited you forget. So I already forgot what question number 3 was, but I just had one in my mind. I'm curious, out of everything we've done to date, right, can you think what was the most pivotal moment that had it not gone a certain way, we would not be here today?
I think the most pivotal moment was launching. Hands down. We have been talking about SnapRefund. We've had a bunch of different pivots. We started off with Dime, then we landed on SnapRefund. We looked into different industries, but it was all ideation, right? It was really speculation. We actually were able to build out a product, have a proof of concept, transact just starting with $1, $2, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, and then more than $10,000. So the fact that we've been able to launch this product, get out there, be in the alpha phase, actually get real use case, real-time data, real-time analytics on how to improve the product and the technology that we're building, I think that has been the key differentiator that's really turned everything around for us. We're not just an idea anymore. To me, what was so special, right, even being a part of this cohort, it's not necessarily only that we got to worry about just partnering with Generator and partnering with Northwestern Mutual, but a part of our cohort, there's a bunch of amazing startups as well. So the opportunity to work with our cohort members and build out technology that can help their business and scale, and being able to say, okay, this is what we do. Hey, we can move money 24/7, 365 days a year to any U.S. bank and U.S. territory. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to show it. And being able to actually put somebody through the experience of using the platform and they can see instantly how that money moves into their debit account, that to me has been the most amazing part of this. I lean also on what you were talking about as being on the same team as Northwestern Mutual. I like to give a basketball analogy because I'm a basketball player. You know, when you want to win a game, right, it's really based on your teammates that you're playing with. And imagine if you're just playing on a game with some of your friends in a rec league, and then compare that if you're playing a game with Giannis on your team. You know what I'm saying? We got Giannis on our team now. We have a Giannis-like stature figure on our team.
Absolutely.
So to me, that gives me even more confidence when I get out there on a basketball court, because I know I got this all-star on my team, one of the greatest basketball players ever. I got one of the greatest companies, one of the greatest partners ever. I'm so confident that I feel everything that we do at this point now is going to be monumental. Another thing that I want to talk about too, and this is for you startup founders out there, businessmen, anybody out there trying to do something positive. The one thing that we never did is we never cut any corners. We never cut any corners. We went through this entire process daily, weekly, monthly, annually with nothing in hand. Just our ideas, just our heart, just our muscle, and just doing the work. Being able to do that and not cut any corners so you could build something with real quality is what got us here today. So I think that's very clear for you founders out there. Do not cut corners. If you know something is going to make your product a lot better, do it. If you know that it's going to take you 10 hours compared to 5 hours to solve whatever problem that you have to solve, spend 10, 11 hours on it. That to me has also been the biggest lesson learned. And the value, and it also comes from my father, who I just have to thank, because the way that he raised us, living in a military household, is you cannot cut any corners. And I was able to see the results. I saw the results when I was playing basketball. I worked out every day, and I was able to play at a really great level. I'm doing the same thing in the startup world. I'm doing the same thing in the tech world. And that all comes from not cutting any corners, doing the work, and believing in yourself. Really.
Yeah, let's talk about this cohort, man, because I am so honored to be considered to be on the same level as these companies that we're with here.
Facts.
So in this cohort, we have a collection of amazing individuals, all founders of color, coming from underrepresented backgrounds, different representations of gender, geography, even industry. So I just want to give a shout out to all my cohort members. I hope you're watching, because this is a thing that we're all in together. So I got to shout out Proven, shout out to Brian. I got to shout out Charisse, Page Dip. Got to shout out Tiffany, another Philly native actually, with Stimulus. We have to shout out
Victor with Excellent Life.
Absolutely. So look, I can't say it enough. We are so proud to be here. And I want to also be clear, it's so easy with social media and this visibility that happens where what people see is the highlights, right? I don't know how many times I have doubted whatever is going on a day-to-day basis of, man, like, you know, am I doing this the right way? Am I presenting this the right way? Are we building the right thing? Are we building the wrong thing the right way, the right thing the wrong way? And you don't always get to see that, but when you watch us, when you watch someone else doing it, you're probably going to feel like, oh man, like, why isn't it as easy for me as just for them? This is not easy. I don't know how many nights I stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm still doing that, and that's not going to stop, okay? And I don't know, sometimes I've messed up where I didn't handle a pitch the right way, I didn't prepare enough, I didn't do something to the best of my ability, and sometimes you can't even control it, right? Like, we make mistakes. That's part of being human, and I just want to show that side too, because none of this is perfect. None of this is without flaw and without shortcomings, and those lows feel just as powerful as the highs, and that's part of what it means to be an entrepreneur. So if you're watching out there, don't be afraid to reach out to either of us. Anis and I will talk to you all day with war stories, horror stories, the times that we messed up and times it didn't go our way, and times when we just honestly realized how much more we had to learn, and how even though we've come this far, we're still just babies in this thing. So, look, I just want to keep it real. It ain't perfect, but it is worth it.
Absolutely. So, okay, we've kind of discussed about where we're going to go. We've talked about the technology. Knowing what you know today, is there anything that you would have did before to do a little bit different, or would you consider the path that we've been on perfect?
Well, judging by the monologue I just went on, you definitely know I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah.
But the beauty in it is that it happens, whether you believe in things happening for a reason or not, it happens the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
You know? And with that, yeah, oh my God, there's so many things I do differently. But I wouldn't change a thing, if that makes sense, because I learned things from this that would have been more expensive to learn later, right? One of the biggest things that I would say would be a big motivation for us starting out was, I mean, this is 2019, so we're going back like 3 years now. Anis, and you approached me. One of the things we talked about, you met at this coffee shop in Manayunk in Philadelphia. It's a little neighborhood I used to live in. We're like, all right, what does this look like? How are we going to do this? And you said, let's stay in the black. Let's start this company and stay in the black. Never go negative, no debt. And then that mentality, drove us to, okay, well, let's find people to work for sweat equity. Let's not try to finance engineering out of pocket. Let's try to do it all sweat labor. And then from there, we'll be able to pay and reward our teammates, everyone who's working on it after we start to get revenue, et cetera. And that mentality was the reason why we learned some really strong lessons about reasons why that might not be the right choice for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, engineering is so expensive in the U.S. that it's going to be hard to find an engineer who's going to be able to lead you to that promised land of developing your MVP and launching it without paying them something or without compensating them monetarily, because there's so much demand for that engineering skill set. I mean, being an engineer myself, I can attest, my inbox is flooded every day with people asking if I want to go and develop Android apps for them. And the answer is no, but I do love making Android apps. But the point is, the biggest thing I have learned now that will help me as I go forward is it's okay to invest out of pocket with pure cash and no equity in engineering, whether it's offshore or onshore. Probably going to be offshore unless you're very well funded to begin with, to build your product up. And that's contractors is what that would look like typically. And then use that leverage of all the time you saved, not trying to have some engineer who's working full-time somewhere else and then helping you out on a limited basis, sort of drag you along for years and not actually get your product out the door when it could have been launched realistically much sooner. So that's for me, but I wouldn't change a thing, because every experience leads to really important lessons that you got to learn one way or another, so you might as well learn them when you can.
One of the greatest inventors out there, Thomas Edison, when he made the light bulb, the guy asked him, well, Thomas, why did it take you so long, over 1,000 times, to finally get the light bulb? And he responded, he said, well, it didn't take me 1,000 times to learn the light bulb. I learned 1,000 ways of how not to make a light bulb, right? So it's like we went through this entire journey and experience, and there was so much that we learned in what not to do. And that allowed us to learn what we should do to do it the right way.
Absolutely.
So that to me is one of the biggest lessons that I learned. Another thing that really sticks out to my mind and really comes to life when I think about this phrase is to act locally, think globally, right? Everything that we were building locally. We were building it for our community. We were really just focused on Philadelphia. We were focused on Pennsylvania. That was where we were focused. We didn't know who was looking at us around the world, but we knew that we had a product that was going to help the economy in the entire country, right? In addition to that, by being in that mindset, being and having that mindset, that is what allowed us to be recognized nationally. And so now we're spread across different regions. Not only are we in the Northeast, but we're also now in the Midwest. I think that's a huge, huge value add to what we're doing. And that really came with the fact that we were just focused on solving a problem locally. So for you startup founders as well, focus on your local community and build that product out for them. Something that you know at home is really going to make life a lot easier. When you do that and you have people in mind, those opportunities around the world is going to come to you.
Yeah,
and I felt that, and I've really seen that in this experience. I couldn't be more happy to be in Milwaukee for the first time. Being a part of this cohort meeting with the folks at Northwestern Mutual, building, them actually looking me in my eyes and saying, look, we see your value. We're going to mentor you. We're going to put the right people around you, and we are going to help you grow exponentially. I mean, I'm still flabbergasted that that's the case, because this whole time, you know how diligent I am about really focusing on Philadelphia and building something there, that we had to come all the way out here for this. But it excites me, but it also proves to me that our technology is needed really around the country. And
Yeah,
it lets
absolutely.
me think about other regions that we really should approach and really should go to, and really spread the gospel about what SnapRefund is able to do for them and their community as well.
Man, and let's talk about that. What can SnapRefund do for them? So look, SnapRefund.io live. Go sign up today. Totally free for you to sign up. You can get paid instantly. Nights, weekends, banking holidays, Valentine's Day, Juneteenth, Christmas morning, it doesn't matter. Settles real time in seconds. You can get paid to a reloadable gift card. You don't need a bank account to get paid. You can sign up, name, email. You make a password, put in a reloadable gift card that's OCT enabled, and those payments hit you in real time. Nights, weekends, Juneteenth, Christmas morning, it doesn't matter. Also, cancelable payments. You send money. I don't know how many times I sent money on one of these other competitors that's not SnapRefund, and I was like, oh, I need that money back. That was the wrong person. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. You go to transaction history in SnapRefund. You click cancel before they cash out. That is done. Finito. Payment canceled. And these are the optimizations, I want to be clear, that come from customer-focused development.
Yes.
Asking them what they need, what happens, what works, what doesn't. And with that, you have to have a vulnerability, I've found, where it's cool for someone to essentially like shit on your product. Excuse my language. I think it's okay on Spotify. I don't know.
No, you should. We'll let you slide, but we want to keep it going.
Absolutely. So with that, even really harsh feedback is extremely valuable. Man, I can't say that enough. So I want to tell a quick story.
Please.
And I think we've probably got to wrap soon, so
Okay.
I'll pass it to you after. How we got to this accelerator, right? Where we are now, talking about all the time when there's these lows and you're going through this process of trying to build your startup to get where you're going. We're here because I was doing sales funneling work when we had no product. It was in its like infancy at that point, and I'm reaching out. It's like over a year ago, and I'm in various meetings on Zooms where I'm finding flash mobs. I went to this Black Men of the Insurance Industry flash mob. Shout out to someone named Ngazi. She really, in a lot of ways, low-key is kind of how we ended up here.
She's amazing.
Shout out Brian at Coterie. Looking forward to doing a podcast with you soon, my man. So he actually was someone I reached out to cold call on LinkedIn, trying to build up our market research, and I'm selling at that point, trying to find a way to get these deals. He tells me about this flash mob happening on Zoom last year, I think it was. I joined that. Through that, I'm like feverishly screenshotting and writing down the names of like all 80 plus people on the Zoom call so I can put them in the sales funnel and follow up with them. One of them, his name is Bilal Afalabi. Shout out Bilal. I reached out to him. He's a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. At the time, I'm thinking, okay, well, let me talk to him, try to sell him. He ends up selling me because he's so dope at what he does. So now he's actually my financial advisor. But through that, him being so dope at what he does, he's like, I see what you're doing. I see where you're trying to go. Let me connect you as best I can. Let me introduce you to someone named Abim. Abim Kolawale is amazing executive at Northwestern Mutual.
Amazing.
Shout out to Abim, Craig Schiedler, Moise the Woodby, all of you are amazing at Northwestern. I look forward to learning from you.
Hiram, Ray, the entire crew. Yep.
Absolutely. So with that, he says, all right, well, please, 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 Cody, before I introduce you to Moise, please have at least one client. And I was like, all right, I got you. Time goes by. We work. I'm trying to get our clients, and he's trying to get our clients. I reach out to Bilal again. I'm like, Bilal, we're there. We got our first client. He's like, let me introduce you actually to Moise. Moise, I talked to, and I think the conversation lasted maybe like half hour, telling him all about SnapRefund, how I see it fitting into claim payments with life insurance policies. And then he says, okay, I see what you're doing. I don't know if you're ready today. This is a long time ago, but I think I could help you. Let me introduce you to the folks at Generator.
Yes.
And he introduced me to Precious Drew.
Yes.
So then I talked to Precious Drew. Shout out Precious. and she says, okay, I think you're actually a great fit for this accelerator. Applications are open. Go here. You'll get put in this process. You might move on. If you like it, you'll be able to get in. So if we like you, rather, to be clear. And we already liked them from the jump, so it was mutual, right? So from there, we apply. Time goes by. We had that super sad but informative, hopefully, podcast. I think it was episode 2 or 3, how to handle a loss or facing rejection as a startup. Because we had actually pitched to this accelerator called Avanta Studios, which is part of AAA. Didn't get in then. And that whole time, we're still applying for this Northwestern accelerator through Generator. So long story short, we get in, and now we're linked up with the exact person and people that Bilal, my advisor, had tried to connect me with back then over a year ago. And this whole thing came because I was cold calling people on LinkedIn when I had no chance in my mind of reaching someone, but I'm like, I gotta try. There's no other way it's gonna happen. And I didn't know it would end up in this like Legend of Zelda style chain quest that would lead me back to where we were trying to go in the beginning. But that's really how we got here. And like Anis said, there's no shortcut for that.
No, none.
If I was like, man, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of working on all these things, and it's maybe never going to pan out. Maybe it'll take years. Let me not do my cold calling today. Then maybe I wouldn't have found out about that flash mob. We wouldn't even be here today. So, man, I just can't say enough. Things really work out how they're supposed to. You have to get a little lucky, but you also have to put in the work so that when that lucky opportunity crosses your path, you can capitalize on it.
There's also saying there's no such thing as luck, because luck is really defined as when preparation meets opportunity. We had an opportunity, but the thing that held us together is we were prepared for that opportunity. When we went through that one accelerator that we tried to get into and we were rejected, you saw the podcast. If you haven't, please go back to our past podcast, because you can really hear about just the way that we were feeling at that time. But we didn't let that stop us. That could have been a shortcut. That could have been like, you know what, forget it. Maybe this is not for us. Let's just stop. Let's just focus on SMBs or whatnot. But we did.
Absolutely.
We kept going. So I think that's really important for you listeners out there, just to know that, look, whatever trail that you're going on, make sure that you take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way. But more importantly, be prepared. You feel me? Because when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And we're not failing to prepare. We are preparing. And that's what got us here in this beautiful city of Milwaukee. I mean, I'm really in love with Milwaukee already, being out here for a couple of days, meeting the people, spending some time out here, spending our money out here. Being a part of the community, being a part of the co-working space. We've met a ton of other startups that's a part of the accelerator space, the Generator accelerator that's in the Wisconsin area. We met some that came from Chicago, some of the past members from the cohort. So now we're getting to meet people from all over the country. So now we're extending our network. I think that's another really important thing, too, to take about from what you just talked about is networking, right? So you went to that flash mob with the intent to network. So, guys, if you're just in your den and just hacking away and trying to do everything from home, it's not always going to work. It may for some people, but you really got to get yourself out there and network. Meet people. Introduce yourself to people. Talk to them. Don't be shy. Really just let it out, because everybody out here is doing their thing. So that's the biggest advice that I can give you. Yeah.
I love that. I was going to ask him this question of what's his best advice, but he just gave you the game right there.
Yeah, network.
And I want to say, too, this is also big because the future of work in a lot of ways is remote, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're living in that reality now. Even if you can't get out somewhere, like I never want to sleep on the fact that sometimes people have reasons why they can't even go around people nowadays, right? Like people are immunocompromised, people might have disabilities. You have to worry about infectious disease in ways that we didn't even think about as a society in the same way before COVID. That's okay too, but there's no excuse. If you have the ability to get on your computer, get on the internet and reach out to people, that's the simplest, purest form of networking there is, and it's becoming probably the most common form today. I've made it here through a bunch of Zoom meetings.
Networking.
That's all it was. It was going out and not being afraid to shake some hands virtually. But I was down to do it in person. I mean, no one else is doing it in person.
Well, you also went to InsurTech too.
That's right, ITC.
You know, yes, you did.
And we're going to be there again
Yes,
this
we
year.
are. And we're going to have a booth. So if you do come to ITC in Vegas, you will see a Snap Refund table.
Yeah, check out the Generator booth when we're there.
Yes.
We're going to be there repping hard with the cohort. Man, it's an exciting time. So look, we got to go. We have dinner with our cohort in a few minutes. I'm cold. The lake is a very powerful force of nature.
Yes, it is.
I don't know how Giannis handles it. I know he's a skinny guy like me. We don't have much fat on our bones, man. I need a coat. It is summer, but it is like 60 degrees where we're sitting right now. So, Anis, final words. What would you say?
Final words, guys, never give up. We always talk about never give up, but really us being here in Milwaukee in front of the Pfizer Forum, out here where the Bucks play, getting bucks is a real testament in why you should never give up. What advice do you have before we let them go?
Let yourself shine. You can do this.
So thank you so much for tuning in to the Snap Refund Podcast. I guess they got the police everywhere you go. You hear the sirens in the back. No, they're not coming for us. Hopefully they're saving somebody. Shout out to all the people that are a part of the Generator. We really, really appreciate what you are doing with your accelerator. There is no doubt that Generator will be the #1 accelerator in the world. I'm telling you right now. And the reason for that too is because Snap Refund is going to make sure that happens. Shout out to Northwestern Mutual, to the entire executive team that really took us under their wing, saw value in us, and is ready to mentor us. We really, really appreciate you, and I promise you we will make you beyond proud because we're really focused on growth right now. This is a real extreme validation and why we know this technology is really going to change the game. We are going to make the economy stronger. We are going to relieve a lot of financial anxiety for a lot of people in this country, and we are so excited to do it with a partner like Northwestern Mutual as well as Generator. So thank you so much for tuning into the Snap Refund Podcast. My name is Anis Taylor.
I'm Cody Eddings.
And we will catch you later on the flip side. Peace.